Hi there, this is Art and Such, and I'm remaking my rainbow loom tutorial for Stewie from Family Guy. I've been looking back over some of my older videos and I wanted to refine some of them. So this is a fast one. I thought we'd do it together and maybe make this easier for you to see. For this pattern, I'm using white pony beads for the eyes and a black Sharpie marker to draw on the pupils and eyelids, a pale skin tone for the face and hands, white for the shoes, red for the outfit, the jumper here, yellow for the shirt, and in my original one I used a couple of small yellow beads on the suspenders, but I'll show you how to make this with bands as well. So we're going to make the arms together, and for this you'll need a single skin tone band to start, as well as some yellow bands. We're going to begin on our hook, take a single skin tone and wrap it 3 times. And we'll be pulling this onto 6 doubled over single yellows. So take a yellow, stretch it out, twist it onto itself so it's nice and tight. Put it at the end of your hook and bring your wrapped skin tone band over. We can replace the other side. We'll take a second one, double it over, twist it around, put it on the end of the hook and pull your other bands on top. You can do this on the loom as well. I find there's a little less tension to work with here, but the loom will probably come out straighter for you. Let's twist our third one, place it on, four, five, and 6. If you want these to be longer, you can always add more, but just bear in mind the longer your arms are, the more they're gonna twist and curve. Let's make our second arm together. I'm gonna go a little bit faster this time, but you can always pause if it's too fast, and if you've got one already on your hook because you're faster than I am, you can just jump ahead. There's a single skin tone wrapped 3 times, and once more we're going to pull it onto 6 doubled over yellow bands. This is 3, 4, 5, and 6, and we will go right to our loom. It's in the offset configuration, so your middle row is raised just above your other 2, and we're going to put everything on the loom together this time. So let's start at the top. With the top of our head, we're taking 2 skin tone bands and bringing them from our top center to our top right. 2 skin tone from the top center to the top left. Try and get bands which aren't too stretched out here. We will come down 3 times in the center with double skin tone bands. And one more. Come down twice on either side with double skin tone bands. And then we are going to get this to meet up from our 3rd right to our 4th center, and from the 3rd left to the 4th center, all double. We switch to yellow now. We don't have much of a neck, so this is going to be kind of tight here. We're going to put 2 yellow bands down from our 4th center to our 5th center, and then we are going to actually come back up diagonally from the 5th center to the 4th right, and 5th center to the 4th on the left. Let us switch to red, and with our red we're gonna follow the loom down the sides 5 times using double sets of double bands. So 1 set of 2, 2 sets of 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is going to be the length of his body, so this is the top all the way to the bottom of the suspenders where we have our shoes. On our right side, let's put on 5 sets of double red bands. And in the middle we need 1 set of yellow and 1 set of red. Once more, 2 bands per each side. We can add our arms now. Those are going to go on your 4th peg down on either side where we had our red starting. I'm going to take all of the bands off of the hook and carefully stretch them out and over those pegs. Let us make some shoes. For our shoes, we're going to take 3 single white bands and we will wrap them 3 times around the hook and pull them onto 2 white bands. Put your other end back on, and this can go onto the last peg where we placed our red. Repeat this for the other side. 3 white bands, wrapped 3 times on the hook. 1, 2, 3, pulled onto double white bands. And one more of these has to go over right at the bottom there. Okay. Put your other end back on, and this will go onto the bottom of your other side. Put on a couple of holding bands. We're going to use yellow for our top one, a single yellow stretched from your 5th peg down to your 5th peg down, and pull it over the center, the peg above, to form a triangle. We'll do a single red the same way just below. And for our next one, we are taking a single red and doubling it so that the legs stay nice and tight here. You can actually pull this bottom piece right up over the center, tight though it is. It will make things easier for us in a minute. Let's finish off our head. We're going to make a couple of ears. For the ears, it's a single wrapped 3 times. If you have a stretched out band, you can wrap it a little tighter. And we are going to put that over 2 single skin tone bands. Put this onto your 2nd peg down, right in the middle of the face here. And another ear, single wrapped 3 times for if it's a stretched band. And pull it onto 2 more single bands. If you want it to be a little bit tighter, you can always take your wrapped band and pull it over a doubled over band, but these ears work out just fine. This goes onto the 2nd peg down on the opposite side, like so. We're going to put a single band across from our 3rd peg to our 3rd peg and up over to the 3rd center as a triangle holding band. And let's do our eyes next. I have my pupils drawn on already, but you probably will want to draw them on after. At any rate, put your beads or your bands onto a single skin tone. If you have beads with smaller holes, you can use a piece of dental floss or a twist tie to thread them on, and I'll show you how to do that when we do our buttons. Your eyes are going from the right second to the left second, and you put your hook between, stretch it out over the middle second. And then I think all we have to do now is loop up, and we'll pause right by the arms to put on our buttons. Start in the middle, loop up 2 times, grab your reds, pull them up and over, grab your yellows, pull them up and over. Pick a foot, go underneath. You want to get these red bands, which are coming from above, So you'll need to push back the whites and grab your reds, pull them over. Take your next reds up and over. Push back all of these bands and just find your bottom two and bring them through the others and to the top. Come up 2 more times. Oh, 1 more time. We're going to pause for our button here. And let's come up the other side and then I'll show you how to do the buttons. And I'll show you the 2 ways. I'll show you how to do it with a band and how to do it with a bead. So loop up the other side, oops, 3 times. Push back your holding bands, your triangle bands here. Now if you are using a bead, and I'm just gonna grab a random one here to show you and make it easier to see. What you will do is take your dental floss, put it through your bead, grab your band from underneath the yellow, pull this out here, put your dental floss through. This is a little tricky. And bring your floss back through the bead. So that you can then slide it right on and pull your bands up and over to the next peg. If you are using bands, we're going to do a very similar thing. Let me put these back to show you again. I'm just going to use bands in this one. I am using yellow bands. It will blend with the shirt, but that is the color of his buttons. I'm going to take a single, wrap it 3 times, put my hook underneath the bands and grab the bottom 2 and slide these yellow bands onto those red bands. And then this will go onto our shoulder peg here. We'll do the same for the other side. I'm going to use bands again. If you're using beads, you'll want to get your dental floss a second time and thread your next one on. We've wrapped a single yellow 3 times. Pull up your red, bring your yellow onto that red, and put the top of your red onto that peg above. Now we can loop in from the shoulders. You're going to find these 2 yellow bands and bring them up and through the others. It's a little bit awkward, so take your time with this part if it's difficult for you. We're going to bring the bottom 2 from the other side, and then we need to find our bottommost yellow here and loop it up through the others. You might want to turn your loom to the side or stretch out those bands to see it better. I'm just going to re-angle this for a minute here. We have a lot of tension here. There we are. Now we're going to do a pretty straight triple single loop up the rest of the way. So we're finding our top 2 bands under the yellow, and they're going to come to the left side where they came from. Our next 2 bands are coming from the right. We're going to come under the neck yellow again, pull those to the right. Then we can loop straight up the center. As you go, watch out for the band that's holding the eyes on here. You can pick either side, and we're going to take the bottom 2 sets of skin tone bands and pull them up and over through the others. Push your ear to the side. Only get your bottom 2s. And go back in on your right side, find your bottom 2, loop them up. Push that ear to the side. Get your next bottom 2, push it up. And finally, we're looking for these last diagonals, bringing them to the center. You'll get a skin tone band, and with the open part of your hook facing away from you, bring your hook through the bands on your top peg, pull your skin tone through, put the other end on, and we can create a slip knot by pulling one side over the other. Carefully remove it from your loom. You don't want to stretch the face out too much because we have a distinctive shape we're going for here. I believe it's been a long time since I did this, and I'll check my notes, but I believe this, the pattern for the head was modeled after Looming with Cheryl's Ernie design. You want to make sure your buttons are in the front. You can push your eyes out and through, and at this point you may want to draw on your pupils. And we can take our securing band and hide it in the back. So I'll slip it under some of these other bands, put it on a C-clip. If I can get a hold of my C-clip here. This can slip under another band just to keep it in place. Give everything a little bit of a tug. As I said, you may want to draw on top, bottom eyelids, or even both. And there is your Stewie. Thank you for watching with me again.